Hey, folks, it's me, Beth from Destination Decluttered. Long time and no talk, huh? Whoa, I got back from my trip. I had a wonderful time, and I decided I'm still kind of getting back in the swing of things, but I thought I had some moments this morning, and I thought I would do a TikTok live. So here I am. Swipe left to close, whatever. What do we got here? So I just figured I would hop on, no big deal, because I didn't have this pre-planned. Excuse me. But I just thought I would do a TikTok live to just see if anybody's out there who's needing help with their clutter and stuff. I know that it made a huge difference in my life when I kind of looked at my home and looked what it looked like, and I just thought it would be very cool. Hello, Kim. Nice to see you. Kai, nice to see you as well. People coming, kind of scooting in. This is totally informal. This will be kind of fun because I usually schedule my TikTok lives, and I will do that. I swear, I will schedule some for next week. But since I just got back from traveling, I just thought I would just pop in and say hey and see how I can help you, knowing that it's a Friday. This is the weekend. Do you need help with your clutter? Is your home looking like you want it to look? Are you feeling how you want to feel when you're in your home? What's the one I'm doing now? See, I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things. Does your home function the way you want it to? Function, what does that mean? I'm talking about just making it easy for you to do the stuff you have to do so you have more time spending the time that you want to do stuff, right? So I just thought I would, as I said, pop on here for the next, I don't know, hour or so. And I'm here for you. I'm a decluttering life coach if we haven't met before. My name is Beth, or maybe you've seen some of my TikTok lives. It's been a while because I was traveling, but I am back on the digital grid. And yeah, so what I do is I help clients, people who are struggling with clutter in their homes, in their schedules, in their lives. And I do this, I do this like via TikTok lives. I have videos on my TikTok page, but also one-on-one coaching I do. So good morning, Carter. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Kim. And seriously, I am here because I want to help you. I know stuff, like not to show off, but like I have in my decades now of being on this planet, thank God, I have figured out some stuff. And I say figured out some stuff that's made my life, I call no, like that to me, that's not a life. Like I use this thing. Oh, you don't see me. German maid, do you not see me? I have new glasses on. There's that. Anybody else? If you can see me, I've got my glasses on. I've got my plain black shirt. There we are. Okay, German maid. Yes, nice to see you. I got new glasses right before I went on vacation. Unfortunately, they didn't arrive for that, so I may look slightly different. Thank you very much. But yeah, I am back, and I gotta say, it was wonderful to come back from my trip, but also look forward to, connecting up. Sorry, I'm just gonna kick something around here. And just help you with what you're stuck with, because I know how lousy it feels to be stuck. Saying, I don't even know where to start. It's hopeless. Like there's so much, all the overwhelm kind of feelings that we have. So overwhelm. I know somebody's going to ask about overwhelm, and I'm happy to repeat myself if more people show up. But right now, where it's just like the handful of us, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the thing to do, the thing that is so cool to remember is you have control over your overwhelm. You may think, oh, I can't even, like I'm shutting down because it's too big. What you do is you bring that overwhelm from above your head and you chunk it down. So you say, what is that thing I'm overwhelmed by? You write it down. You write it down. You get it out of your head onto some paper where you can look at it. You chunk it down into little bits. Mary, you're saying you're very stuck. Okay, see, this and that creation. I'm overwhelmed just looking around my place. You know why? Because what you're doing, and this is what we all do, is we look around the place and we look at the entire picture, right? It's like using the wrong lens on your camera when you're trying to take like a portrait of somebody and you get the wide angle lens and it's like, whoa, that's too much, right? Switch the lens that you look at your stuff with. Pretend you're using a camera. Overwhelm means you're looking at it too big, too wide of a lens. Focus. Chop it down into smaller bits. Focus on the things you can do. because I want to guarantee this and that creation. And Mary, there are ways you can get started. There are ways you can get started with your decluttering. Now, this is what I do. Okay, so yeah, and you know what? Trying is good. So I will give you some ways to do this. Okay, this is a really cool thing. I like to just make these TikTok lives like a beneficial thing. So I would say this: you can chunk down your overwhelm of your clutter in many ways. But before you even start with that, why are you doing it? You know, before you even start on a road trip, if you notice behind me, I've got this little map pin and a little car, and then the little dotted lines and the little map pin over here that's supposed to look like a heart, but I couldn't make it work because I only have limited, skills on the computer. But think about your destination, okay? This is before you even start saying, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to clean this, I got to clean that. Ask yourself, what do I want my home to look like? How do I want to feel when I'm in my home? And how do I want my home to function? Now, the neat thing is about this is when you answer yourself those questions, you probably have, I'll give you another secret hint. If you don't really have an easy answer or a quick answer of like what you want your home/life to look, feel, and function like, is think of all the negative ways that you describe your current situation. Knowledge is power. Write those words down. Take a piece of paper. Let me go to I'm always writing in my book here. Okay, so do this. I'm folding it. If any of you are my clients, you'll know what I'm doing right now is I'm folding a piece of paper in half, right? Just to make a nice clean line here. So all the ways that your home is not the way you want it to be, write those lousy words, write those unhelpful words right here. Just the negative ways. It's cluttered, it's stinky, it's a mess, it's dark, it's stuffy, and write those things down, and then just think of what the opposite word is. Okay, if it's cluttered, you want it to be, decluttered. If it's dark, you want it to make it light. Like, start to create a picture in your head about it. This and that creation. I know in my heart that if I got the place in order, I would be happier, but still I'm exhausted. I do not want to argue with you about your exhaustion, but what I will say is, look at the reasons you're exhausted, and maybe you're doing things for other people. Carving out some time for you to create an environment that makes you feel rested, that you can relax in, that helps you get restored when you're exhausted. That's a worthy goal in my mind. Like your home should be a refuge from the world. Your home should be a place that doesn't add to your stress. It should be the place that you go to kind of get away from it. I just got back from vacation, and think about that vacation feeling you have on vacation. It's like everything's, being taken care of. There's not a lot of stuff. It's pretty simple. Like, getting some of that vacation in your life every day is going to help you. So maybe your place is making you tired. Baby steps. My friend, I am sincere when I say this. Baby steps are the only way you get anything ever done. Okay? Think of it. If you want to make $1 million, right? $1 million is just a whole bunch of pennies. Do I have any pennies around here? No, a whole bunch of pennies. Tiny, enough pennies gets you to 1,000. One walk, you could walk across the U.S. I'm usually looking at my U.S. map here. You could walk around the world, a step at a time, a penny at a time, an item at a time, a thought at a time. What are the thoughts that making you feel lousy that you don't start? And then on the other hand, what are some better thoughts that are pretty much the opposite of lousy ones that make you feel better so you do something? Knickknack 82 took a whole van full to donate, and I have 5 empty tubs now. I can't thank you enough. Baby steps. See, you said baby steps. Knickknack, you're talking to this and that. They're struggling. Many of us are in this together, okay? I'm not saying all of us, but if you're struggling with clutter and stuff, and oh my gosh, if I'm Gen X, and I might do a retweet or whatever you call it on TikTok, like a stitch for this woman who, like, literally her parents, like, dropped a pod of like their crap in her driveway. Get a handle on your own stuff so that you can better manage other people's stuff when they try to put it into your life. There you go. See, this and that creation. I cleaned out one cupboard and I felt so much better. Notice the connection. You chunked it down. You didn't say the whole kitchen. You said one cupboard, right? One cupboard, even one cupboard. If you can't do one cupboard, you can do one shelf of a cupboard. You can do the other shelf. Chunk it down into the smallest enough steps so that you go from being stuck to getting started. And I find it really helpful, and this is why I coach this way, to remind myself why I'm doing this. That I love it when I feel better, when I can immediately grab the stuff from my cupboard and use it and then put it away easily. That I love it when friends come over unexpectedly and I can open the door and say, come on in. I love it when I just like walk out of my room and say, oh wow, I don't have to spend my time cleaning and decluttering anymore because it's just this way, because I've changed my habits and now I get to do more fun stuff with my times. You know, German Maid pulled out 3 bins of clothes in one closet to donate. Awesome. See, baby steps. 3 bins of clothes is 1 piece of clothing at a time. You know, there we go. See, this and that creation. I don't let anybody over. Now, again, the wonderful thing is, the wonderful thing is, everybody, I want to say you guys, I'll say y'all, I'm not from the South. My Boston accent will probably rear its ugly head. What you do in your home, how it looks, how it feels, is completely up to you. You may not want to have anybody over, and that's up to you. But if you do want to, and your clutter is stopping you from doing that, I got this from a client who had the acronym CHAOS, C-H-A-O-S. My house is so chaotic. It was like, no, I have the chaos syndrome. It stood for can't have anyone over syndrome. Now, that's kind of a bummer to me. We all have such a short amount of time on this planet. We all deserve to live a life we love. Get on the getting on and start doing the things to get you there. It's going to make you feel better. Like, notice the people above. I just want to notice the people who've chimed in who said they've done some decluttering. They're not saying, I have made it to the destination, right? Pardon me. Air conditioning just came on and I'm getting my toesies are cold. They're not saying, look at me, I made it. They're saying, I'm on my way. I'm on the road trip towards it. You know? See, there you go. I always repeat your phrase, chunk it down now. And it's not, I don't TM it. I got it from somebody else who got it from somebody else. But that notion is so powerful because you need to, if you want to go anywhere, you have to get started. And sometimes it's a daily process of reminding yourself, why the F am I doing this? Right? It's like it's like walking out of your house to your car. Now, I'm in the U.S. I'm totally car-based, and a lot of my my advice and my coaching is kind of road trip based. Is getting every morning you're turning the key, you're sparking that spark into your ignition to get yourself started to go somewhere. You know, yeah. I don't think they're ever been made to my destination. Here's the funny thing: this and that creation, the way I teach it anyway, is think about the fact that the destination may be just like your North Star. It's keeping you in line with what's important to you. What your life is the road trip that is informed by your destination, which is what you want. And the more you realize how you want your home and life to be, the more you can make better decisions and easier decisions on, does this thing fit in the life that I want or not? Right? Yep. Okay. See? Constant work. As a kid, I had nothing. So I keep everything. Notice this, everybody. I notice because all I do is freaking look at what I'm doing here. But like, you have a thought that says, and maybe it was the truth. I'm not gonna, you do you. As a kid, I had nothing is a thought in your head. Head, thought, sentence. I had nothing. How does that make you feel? I bet that makes you feel like, I deserve stuff. I'm going to hang on to it. I had nothing. I'm going to keep this, Notice that it's making you feel a certain way in your heart. And notice even how I'm using my hand. You're hanging on to things. You even said, so I keep everything. Notice the connection, and not to look like I'm in church or whatever, but what you say to yourself in your head makes you feel a certain way in your heart. And when you feel a certain way in your heart and you have that thought in your head and your heart, the result is what you do with your hands or you don't. You either cling on to things or you release things, and what I want to offer is, like, you could say, what's the opposite of I had nothing as a kid? I had nothing as a kid, but I have more than enough now. I don't have lack. I have abundance. I have too much, right? And how lucky am I to have too much? It may not make up for the time when I was hungry and was wearing used clothes back in the day and we couldn't afford stuff. But right now, I'm in an okay space. I am so in okay space that I have a ton of stuff. And I am realizing right now this stuff I have does not benefit me, so I'm going to remove it so I get to that kind of nice, just right feeling, right? That's how it works. Your head, your heart, and your hand. Yeah. So many of us do. So many of us grew up with less than we have now. And this is like a sociological thing. This is if we look at the history of, and this is really interesting to me because I was in a foreign country just, a couple of days ago. They may have a similar situation, but here in the U.S., it's a different situation. We have so many ways to buy all this stuff that we don't need, and we're trying to fill our hearts. We're trying to heal. Notice you're trying to make yourself feel better by holding on to stuff, but it's just not working, right? If it were, you'd be like, no, this isn't clutter. This is stuff I love. I mean, I get stuff I love all over the place, So just thinking about that. Oh, this is interesting. Yep. So Hazel Eyes is saying, I hung on to a lot moving after divorce, thinking I'd have no money. Now, big changes in life will make you cling on to things because you're unsure of stuff and the scariness of having that post-divorce life. I had it for a while. I am now happily married for decades, and but I remember those scary feelings. Just know that it's okay. Do you use any apps like Trello to help with tasks? German made. I use Trello as like this major list maker of life. I literally am looking right now on my other computer screen here. I have multiple boards, and I have lists that have lists in them. And this allows me to get the thoughts out of my head and onto some place where I can see them. I also write down stuff in my notebook, and I pretty much have 2 places where I do that. Other than that, I will say that there are apps out there that allow you to remind you to help do some things, and I have yet to really investigate into that. But I don't discourage you from doing that. But to me, having Trello allows me to get the thoughts out of my head and onto somewhere where I can know that they're not going to fly away, whoosh, and I can actually do something about them. So I use that. Yeah. Swim Lady 82 is, should I keep the keepsake Hallmark ornament boxes since I have new ornament storage containers? Swim Lady, that's completely, again, this is the wonderful thing about decluttering. Decluttering is completely up to you. What do you want to do? If you're torn, you could ask yourself, so why am I saving this? Is it because you might want to resell the ornaments someday and you think it might be worth some more in the box? Is it easier for you to take the ornaments out of your current thing? Make it easy on yourself. Don't make your life more difficult than it has to be. Make it the easiest way for you to get the ornament, that it's safe, that it's not breaking, and you do you, but just feel good about it. Yeah, no, in German Made, I saw it. Going to try it for brain dumping, 100%. I do that all the time, and this is so goofy of me. I am often, when I'm doing a TikTok live on my phone, I am looking around for my phone so I can show it to you, forgetting, of course, that I'm talking to my phone right here. And what I want to say is I love it because I can text myself something on my main kind of catch-all list when I'm out and about and walking around, and then I can know that it's safe, and then I can go off and do other things. There we go. Okay, Sparrow Lee 1 says, I have this thought. Again, people, I'm a certified life coach, so this is the kind of the work that I do from the deep end to the practical. You have a thought, I might need this someday. Many people do. Just get curious. When's the last time you used it? And give yourself the opportunity to be the person who uses it. Give yourself, 6 months. Put a little date on it and say use by. Put an expiration date on it. You know how easy it is to get rid of food that has expired in your cupboard once you hit an expiration date? Get some painter's tape. Get a Sharpie and put an expiration date on your stuff and say, if I haven't used it by December, because here's the crazy thing, everybody, is that August is next week. August is next week. We are already halfway through 2023. So I would say in 6 months, right now, 6 months from now is going to be like what, January, February, all that kind of thing. So just notice. There we go. Knick-knack, I'm saving sentimental clutter for the end. I want to be rocked through memories without being rushed completely. So Knick-knack and everybody here, this might help you. If we're just meeting, because I see a whole bunch more people have tuned in. Hey, my name is Beth. But I'd much rather you remember Destination Decluttered. I am a decluttering life coach. I work with people one-on-one via Zoom coaching. At the moment, I'm not taking on any new clients, but if you are interested in that or just learning more about that kind of stuff, if you could like my TikTok page, that'd be awesome. What else? I have a mailing list, things like that. But one of the things that I do in my coaching, and I want to share with all y'all for free, is thinking about your clutter in 3 different levels: surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Okay, so Knickknack82 is saying I'm saving sentimental clutter for the end. Very good choice, because if you don't know how to declutter at all, don't start with the hard stuff. And yes, the sentimental clutter is the hard stuff. It is. It's the stuff that gets your heart involved. It's the stuff that tells you stories about who you used to be, who people. It's of stories of your past and all the people and the experiences, right? So that's going to make you feel the feels. It's going to take you more emotional energy to go through it. So start with the easy stuff. Start with your surface clutter. You could make your home look so much better even in the next 40 minutes that I'm on doing a TikTok live. If you just walked around and seriously just put me on in the background. I say that because so many people have said to me that they like to listen to me in the background while they declutter. Just start putting stuff away where it belongs. You know, do the easy stuff. Get used to doing something different about your clutter instead of putting it down, putting it away, right? So surface, stored. Now, if you can't put something away from the surface because there's no room in the stored clutter, that's when you need to sort that stuff out and really remind yourself of who you are today and what are you using and what are the things you thought you were going to use or wear or eat or buy, and, see, are you using them or not? There we go. I struggle with making time for decluttering. So I love this because I am doing, I don't love the fact that you struggle with the time. What I say is I have some help for that. And what I want to offer is even a little bit at a time makes a huge difference. No matter what anybody says, right? Some progress is better than no progress at all. But what I would love for you to do and for everybody to do is to just think about where are you spending your time and get curious about it. Curiosity is going to open up so much to you if you just say, I am curious about where I'm using my time. Now, I am doing a free Zoom workshop on this Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're interested in it, get on my mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com. That is also free, destinationdecluttered.com/join. And we're going to sit down together with our notebooks, with our calendars, with whatever tools you already use to say, this is the amount of time I have in this day, in this week, and where do I want to spend it so I do make time for the things that are important to me. Okay? And yes, I like the background chat. That's fine. I love it. I love doing anything I can to help people. And what I want to offer is remind yourself, I'm always going back to the basics. I like to keep things so simple. If you're not excited about where you're going or why you're doing this, you're going to not want to do it. Am I right? It can't be just me. It's like I like what I like. Like when I was at school, I did well at the things that I was engaged in, that I was interested in. The things that I wasn't interested in, oh my God, my eyes were rolling back in the back of my head. So I want to offer to you, start with the end in mind. What do you want your home to look and feel like? And what do you want your life to look and feel like? And know that doing this stuff to your home can get you feeling better in your life. And the way that you do it is not by driving there all the time, whatever. You do it like a road trip. You do some of it, and then you have some fun, and then you do things you have to do. You kind of weave a nice little journey, and you're just informed by what you're aiming for. Again, thinking of this maybe not necessarily as I always like to say, like Palm Springs, but up in the sky. It's like a North Star that guides you to say these decisions I'm making are going to lead me to them. Okay? Hope that helps. Yes, progress, not perfection. That is wonderful. My mother pointed out that I sometimes take 3 steps to get something to its place. BNGB. Get curious about that. If that works for you and you're able to put things back and it's not an undue burden on your decision making, by all means, keep up the routines and the systems and the habits that you have that are easy to do, that get you the results you want. Right? But if they're not getting you the results you want, or you're getting the results you want, but they're not easy, then I offer to you, break apart those habits. Get curious about how you can make it simpler. That's one of the things I do with my one-on-one clients is we walk through and we make really simple, easy routines and habits and strategies and processes and systems and methods, all those fancy words to say, how little time can I spend doing the things I have to do so I can have more time to do the things I want to do? That's my motivation for me and for all y'all, okay? So just get curious about it. All right, never thought it was possible my mother had a heart attack, but she was okay. Oh, man. What time is that on Sunday and what time zone? CC Fitzhenry, sorry about that. It is 11 a.m. Eastern. I am Eastern. I'm on the Eastern Seaboard. And you'll get the Zoom invite. It's only for people on the Destination Decluttered email list. But all you need to do is to get to my website. And this is not like, I don't mean to sound like an infomercial. I'm just trying to give you the info that the best way to get all the good stuff that I do is to just sign up for my free email mailing list. That's when I turn my calendar back on. If you're interested in doing a consultation for one-on-one coaching, I do a monthly free group Zoom where you can show up and ask a question with a bunch of people and get support. I do that for free. Email mailing list. What else? I'm doing that Zoom workshop, finding out when my TikTok lives are. I'll always let people know about that first on the thing. So it's all kind of good stuff. That's what I like to do. What else do we have? Okay, I'm in a tiny home. I want to be able to find what I need. What a great thing to say. I want to be able to find what I need. And probably easily too. Throw easy in there. I'm all about the ease, right? So there you go. And I love it. I have a to-go bag or a Togo. I have a to-go bag in my closet to declutter when I see what no longer serves me. I do too. I actually have a plastic kind of kitchen garbage bag with the little handles permanently on the hooks on the back of our bedroom door for when we're trying on clothes and thinking of what we're going to wear. And if something is not working, I just put it right in the bag. It's a constant process. One of the things this might help you too is everybody is thinking about decluttering as it's kind of a two-step process, okay? So when I'm dealing with my clients, I'll share this with you, is think about it in a couple different ways. One of them is you're probably struggling with an abundance of stuff right now because you might be of an age where you just have accumulated a lot, or maybe it's coming down the pike to you where you see your parents' stuff or family heirlooms and things coming your way. You have like a backlog of clutter, stuff that has accumulated over decades probably. So part of decluttering is knocking down that sheer volume of stuff that's piled up. But if you don't change the way you think and feel and act about your stuff, it's going to pile up again. You know, Junebug's Eyes, nice to see you too. I had a wonderful trip. Thank you very much. But just notice that it's two steps. It's knocking down, it's reducing the quantities of things in your home, but also, and this is the part I think most people forget, or maybe just don't even think about, is changing your habits so you don't reclutter again. And it's not just, oh, I need to buy fewer items. It's getting clear on what are the things you need that delight you, that keep things simple. Sometimes having too many options is as overwhelming as not having enough options, you know? I discovered this when I was collecting vintage kitchenware, that I got kind of, almost like paralyzed in a way when I would be having a party and I wanted to put out some chips and dips. You guys, I had like 6 or 7 really cool vintage chip and dips, and each one of them kind of had a story. Oh, I got that one at the Salvation Army. Oh, I bought that one at this vintage store. My friend gave me this one. But there I was, paralyzed. Well, which one should I use? Should I use the blue one? Should I use the red one? Should I use this one? It's this. And in the meantime, that felt just overwhelming, having to make all those decisions. What I ended up doing was narrowing it down. I think I have like 2 chip and dips. I think I have one glass and 1 plastic, 1 for outside, 1 for inside. It's so much easier with fewer items because you'll use what you have. Even if I had no chips and dips, if I had people over the house, I could find a mixing bowl, throw the chips in it, find a smaller mixing bowl, put the dip in it, and be done, So yes, overwhelm just keeps you stuck. It feels lousy. It doesn't get you where you want to go to. So grab the overwhelm. Pull the overwhelm from up above you and say, I have control over you. And you take it from overwhelm. Notice the words I'm using. Overwhelm feels like it's the world over your head. Take that and pull it down above you and just say, I'm looking at it the wrong way. I'm looking at it too big. I need to zoom in. It's almost like, where's my, I think I have a map here. I often do. I love maps. I wrote about road trips for decades. Okay, it's like me saying, I'm here in Pennsylvania and I want to go to Palm Springs, California. Oh my God, I'm going to have to do all this and what road am I going to take and blah, 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 blah. Overwhelming, right? This could be overwhelming. How about this? Deciding where you want to go to and almost do the life equivalent of putting that destination in your Google Maps on your phone. That's going to say, take a right, and then take a left, and then take a right, and then take a left, and then just start doing those small things. You know, Rachel Loves Dogs 218 just says, I pick a room and I go from there. So notice it. You took your whole house. If it's paralyzing and overwhelming, your whole house is too big, chunk it down. Chunk it down into one room at a time, one section of a room at a time, one shelf at a time, one category at a time. You know? What are my thoughts on Swedish death cleaning? I love it because death is going to happen to all of us. And the more that we can deal with our stuff now, I mean, I don't plan on dying for another 45, 50 years, but I love my life so much better now. They have fewer items in it. And I also know what I want in my life and what I don't. So when I see stuff coming down the pike from, you know, family or whatever, I can easily in my heart be like, okay with that. Okay. So everybody, not by trying to ignore the fact that we're not here for forever and deny those, making those decisions, you're just kind of putting the burden on somebody else, right? Anybody else feel overwhelmed and burdened by the fact that their parents aren't dealing with their own shit? Pardon my French, but you know what? That's because they're not making those decisions. They're like, oh, I don't know. So let's be that generation. Let's be those people who break that habits, that cycle, so that, you know, we can not carry that on to the next generation. You know? There we go. What else do we have here? See, isn't this cool? I love it. I got to get a shout out for everybody who always shows up for these TikTok lives. And I promise I'm going to get my schedule back on. I usually post it and pin it to the top of my page. I'm just literally getting over jet lag. So I'm moving slowly, but I am moving. Notice that I'm telling myself I may be moving slowly, but I am moving. Maybe that's a good one for you. Here, use that. I'm not stuck. I'm just moving slowly. And when I feel better, I'm going to move more, you know, at a pace that I want. But I love it when I see an immediate, organic kind of community helping out, that people are saying, oh my God, it's paralyzing. I agree. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Such good stuff. You know, we're all in this together. We are not, this clutter thing we have been conditioned by our society to buy things and say that the things are going to make us happy. And you know, and of course the people who sell the stuff are the people who say, buy my thing, it'll make you happy. One of the wonderful things I've realized, and I used to collect stuff for forever. And I mean, trust me, like I'm going to do I'm going to go back and do more TikTok lives from around my home, but I do not live like a minimalist. I have stuff around my house that brings me joy, but it's also almost like evidence of who I used to be, but it still makes me smile. But I bring very few things back into my home. I brought memories back for this vacation that I took. I brought very few things. I bought like a tote bag and a dress, but very few kind of tchotchkes and stuff. So just notice that you can be very happy with fewer things. Okay. Oops, whole bunch of stuff. Okay, here's a good one. Annalisa, nice to see you. The stuff I don't want to get rid of because of how much it cost. Okay. Notice that is a thought you have that makes you feel a certain way, that makes you hang on to it. I paid a lot for this. This was good money. Trust me, I get it. Here's what's going to happen though. Is they use this in business all the time. Businesses, you know, they invest in something, they think it's going to work, it's not going to work, then they do away with it. It's the cost of doing business to make things run better, right? I've done this. I probably did this over this vacation. Like I bought something, I thought it was going to work. I tried it, it didn't work. Oh well, I'm not going to get my money back. Maybe you can save. Maybe if you want to sell your stuff, go for it. I'm not going to, neither here nor there. If you want to try to make your money go, you know, back, have at it. But what I will say is this, is your time is precious. One of the few things you cannot get the more of in life is time. So just be mindful of where you're spending your time. And is this the couple of bucks, the couple of euros you're going to get from your stuff worth you spending all that time? Now, all you can do is answer that question for yourself. You do you, you know? And Just notice that, yes, you may want to make the money from it, and the amount of work you have to do to make the money works it for you. Other than that, maybe you're in a situation you don't necessarily need it, and you just say, lesson learned, okay? Yeah, watching parents let go of treasures gathered from a lifetime of living overseas helped me to detach too. Yeah, I think that whole notion of, I love souvenirs. Like literally my collection is like souvenir, snow domes. I have a lot of those and a lot of kind of vintage snow souvenirs. But notice, souvenirs and sentimental items, they are just visual reminders of a story that lives on in somebody. You know this because you don't know the story of something unless somebody tells you it. Hey, Ma, what's this? Oh, I got that when I was overseas, blah, 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 right? Yeah, clutter stresses me out. I get rid of everything. Jared's mama, interesting. So notice that you have a certain thought and you get rid of everything. It makes you feel better to have less clutter around. You know that about you. We all have our own kind of level of stuff. Somebody once, called my house cluttered, and it's not, because I've curated it. Everything in my house, works well, functions well. It's in its place. It's easy to get to. It's not just kind of laying around unmade decisions. Decisions have been made about doing things. Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for trying to help each other in the comments as I'm chatting for one of these things. Bob from TX, where have I been all my life? I've been right here. What's that saying? Like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Yeah, and honestly, that's one of the things I think is really beneficial, I'll be honest, about what I do as a coach, is I am an impartial person. I don't know the story about your stuff, so I can, just with curiosity and helping you to get to where you want to go to, just ask you, what is this thing? Do you want it in your life or not? And if you want it in your life, where are we going to put it? And if you don't want it, what's the easiest way to get it out of your life? Okay? Yeah, family members, there's a lot of... Everybody's got their own stories in their head about stuff, and especially family and friends, and you need to make decisions that feel right to you. This is what I think it's all about, is you say to yourself, what do I want my life to look and feel like? How do I want it to function? What are the things I want to do? What do I want my home to look like? And then you make decisions based on that, right? And it just cleans up the decision making. When you get other people's ideas of what you should do with your stuff, that's when it gets murky. But when the more you can practice saying, what do I want, which is something we probably haven't learned a lot as kids, is claiming that, and then you begin to create the world you want, So there we go. Yeah. So do I really need to pay storage on belated Uncle Jimmy's old report cards and book reports? I don't know, Lulu Who 469. Do you? Just think of how much money you would save. Everybody, this is one of the things when I do a consultation with people to be, if we're going to coach or not, I ask a series of standard questions, and one of them is, how much money is your clutter costing you? How much is it costing your mental health and your mood? How much is, I'm just looking literally at my questionnaire thing right here. How much is your clutter, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'll give it away. How much is your clutter affecting your quality of life? And if you want a better quality of life and the clutter is just in the way, just think of it as stuff like your life. You're behind the wheel of this car right here, your own car, driving towards your destination. Your clutter is literally just a bunch of stuff, Uncle Jimmy's old report cards and book reports that are piled up in front of the car, not allowing you to move. Decluttering is kind of getting out of the car, looking at this stuff and setting aside, getting rid of the stuff that you don't want, putting that to the side of the road so you can move forward, or occasionally finding the gem that you do want to keep and you put that in the trunk so you can move forward. Hope that helps. What else we go? Okay, yearbooks. I have no need for them. No kids to pass them down to. Feels weird to get rid of them. Oh, hi. How about this? They could say no. So notice that many of us come from, here's a crazy thing. Let me just kind of put this into perspective. I was an art history major, so I tend to look at things through a much wider kind of history lens. Is we come from an era, previous eras, if you did not have the paper copy of something, you didn't have the information. If you didn't have the record, you couldn't listen to the song when you wanted to. If you didn't have the yearbook, which is probably like the old-timey Facebook, like so-and-so from 7th grade, right? Now things are different. So many things are online, but we haven't caught up. So we're in between. We're in limbo, right? How about yearbooks? Maybe get in touch with the the school that it's from and ask them if they want some to donate to their library. Maybe they don't have a copy, you know? There we go. Rainbow Sunbeams needed to hear this today to start cleaning today. That's why I show up and do these TikTok lives. I will be putting a schedule for the next week of them on there. I'm still, as I said, in one of my things, getting back into speed. But I show up multiple times of the week to get you inspired, to encourage you to start to declutter your home. And really what decluttering is, y'all, is making decisions about the stuff you want in your life and the stuff you don't want in your life. Because your life is short. So is mine, you know? Let's make the most of the time we have, and the sooner you can eliminate the stuff you don't want. Your body does it all the time, people. You put stuff in it, the body uses what it wants, and then it gets rid of what it doesn't. Am I right? So why not just start? And this is what I attempt to do in my own whatever way, is to encourage you. Here's some courage to say, start doing it. You can do this. You are worth putting in the effort of doing the decluttering. Your life that you want to live is worth it. And give you strategies and systems and processes too to get it. There we go. I've inspired me. I'm dumping everything. Mona Sleem, you feel free to do you. But what I want to also offer to everybody is notice that it's not just about the stuff out here, all the clutter. It's about the stuff in here. Because if you get rid of stuff, I had a client once who literally, her house had burned down. She had nothing. They got a new house. And, many people say, oh, I'm just going to get rid of everything. If you don't change what's up here and here, you're going to refill, you're going to reclutter, you're going to refill stuff. And so the best thing to do to me is do the both, is to work on, get to know what's up here by noticing the decisions you made about stuff earlier in your life and saying, does this resonate with me now? And one of the easiest way you can say, does this resonate with me now, is by saying, what do I want my home to feel like and look like and function like? Oh gosh, 29 new messages. Let me see what I can do. If we haven't met and you're just tuning in, my name is Beth. I'd much rather you mention Destination Decluttered. If you can like my TikTok page, that would be really cool. I've been off TikTok for about 10 days or so. I do that sometimes. I get off the digital grid so that I ensure that when I come back on, I'm like excited and raring to go, which I am. So if you like my TikTok page, I've got a, email mailing list you can get on. This Sunday, I'm doing a live free Zoom workshop about how to declutter your schedule. We're gonna, it's a workshop, like bring your notebook, bring your calendar, be on Zoom, put yourself on mute. I'm gonna give you some instructions. We're gonna work it so that by the end of this hour-long Zoom thing is that you will at least have a schedule. You will have kind of mapped out some stuff that you can do for the next week and maybe the next month as well. Okay? Something I do. All right? Okay, I've lost both parents and my sibling. I am so sorry about that. I'm the keeper of keepsakes for my kids and nephews. It's a lot. It is, Jen. And yeah, we are a generation that are kind of, we're the meat in the sandwich, as I like to say, where it's like we've got the older generation above us who had their own issues and collections. We have our own stuff, and then we have the future generations. One of the things I want to ask is to get your family involved with these things. I don't know how old the kids are, but if they are of an age, start to ask them if they want these things. There are also different ways that you can remember the stories about these things without necessarily needing to keep every single item. As somebody else said up there, it's like, Uncle Jimmy's old report cards. Just because you have the thing doesn't mean you need to keep it, right? How do you decide on what to keep or get rid of keepsakes? For kids, family of 6. Okay, 4 kids, family of 6. Here's one way of looking at it. Remember we talked about like the overwhelm of looking at things too big, and this can be overwhelming and chunking it down? Try this. One of the reasons you're probably saving a lot of these things is because they tell stories about your family, okay? About you, about who came before you. Think about what your future family 100 years from now would want to know about your family today and the family previous. They may not need to know that you went on vacation here and you did all this and all these photographs and things like that. But start to create your family archives. Start to create, start to save and to share the stories that you want passed on to those future generations, because that's what it is. They're going to want to know, oh, my family came over from Ireland in the 1800s and this happened, and that, and now I moved from New England to Pennsylvania because I fell in love with a man from Delaware. Think about it, and you might realize that you need very few items to tell those stories. Okay? You can keep as much as you want, but also notice how they feel. If they make you feel ugh, you might want to consider finding a way to remove them from your life. But if it's something you love, you say, ooh, what to do with this? I mean, trust me, it's not going to be a perfect science, but it's going to be something, Notice Phil Silver Fox says, my kids don't want things, but I can't let go. So if you were saying to yourself, I was saving these for the kids, and the kids are saying, I don't want them, honor that. Let's not guilt them into wanting stuff, because we know how it feels to struggle, but then work on yourself. Ask yourself with curiosity and love, say, why can't I let this go? You can. Why am I choosing not to let this go? And is holding on to it giving you the life you want, or could releasing some of these things give you the life you want? Only you can answer those questions, okay? I just try to make you say it's okay to say, this is who I was back then and I saved these things. Who am I today? Who am I today? What's important to me today, of this age, of this body size, of this wrinkles, of, what I do? And also looking again towards your future, your destination, and saying, what do I want my future? Your future can start in a minute. Your future is started. Your future is always starting. What do I want in that, and how soon can I start incorporating those parts of that future life into my life right now? Okay? Well, my only 30-year-old child doesn't speak to me, so I get to throw it all out. Well, that's one way of doing it, Okay. Who I am today is huge. Huge sounds awesome. I mean, you do you. But here's the wonderful thing, is so much of the decluttering, the way I approach it, I think is so much, for me, there's people out there. I love the fact that the way I approach this isn't just about making your house look neat and tidy. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with a neat and tidy house, but if it's like behind the scenes, if it's a hot mess, or you're spending all the time working on that, if you don't feel good, if your neat and tidy house is not making you feel better, I love bringing my life coaching lens to the decluttering, because I grew up in a cluttered home, and I know that at a certain point, the way your home looks and feels reflects how you feel inside. I have decluttered so much, I feel like I lost my identity. Okay, Lulu, you have a wonderful opportunity to create your new identity. What do you want that to be? What do you want it to be? I will share this. I am kind of recreating my identity. A number of years ago, I was known as Maud Betty from Retro Roadmap, and I was writing books on vintage road trips, and I was dressed in vintage clothing, and I had these sassy glasses, and I had my, all this stuff. I loved that until I didn't love it anymore. And it was I went through some heartbreak of, who am I? I don't know. I used to be that. I used to be this. Even honestly, you'll see this if you look at my videos from before I went on vacation. I have different glasses on. I got those ones with like the little thingies on them, right? I did this before I went on vacation, and I'm like, oh, now I'm the person who's wearing the different glasses, not the ones with the pink things on them. I'm still experimenting with it. But allow yourself to evolve into the person you want to be, the person that you love being. I love being the person who doesn't give a crap about the fact that I have short hair and wrinkles and very little makeup, but I show up on TikTok anyway. And I show up with my heart, and I show up with my skills and my strategies and processes to help you get to where you want to go to. It's kind of funny. I used to write books about road tripping. I help you along this journey to where you want to go to. I am like your co-pilot in the car on your road trip. And I show up and I get the snacks, I get the jokes, I get the music, I have the strategies, I get the map. But only you can decide where you want. We don't go anywhere until you decide where you want to go. Yeah. And so, do you like these glasses? Someone said they're different font, falls off easily. I just started them. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. The reason I liked these, actually, user 827485755309, is my previous glasses that I had had the thing where you could put the, what do you call it? Sunglasses on it, and that was a game changer for me. When I went on vacation, I didn't have that, and I kept on fumbling from one pair of glasses to another. Let's go. Thank you. All right, so y'all, I feel like digreg, but I digreg. I get 10 minutes left here. How can I help you? How can I help you? Could you just, even just for a moment, sit and imagine, close your eyes. Trust me, what you see is what you get. Close your eyes and just imagine how you want your home to look. And then imagine being in there and notice how it makes you feel when you're in the home that looks and feels the way you want it to. Maybe you feel more peace. Maybe you feel more control. Maybe you feel calmness. Maybe you feel energized, free, light and airy, not so burdened with stuff. That's where we're going for. All right, New Attitude 88. You get on my email mailing list by going to destinationdecluttered.com, or .com, as my Boston accent occasionally rears its head. Destinationdecluttered.com. There's a link in my bio on the front of my TikTok page. You can do there. And join the mailing list. It's free. You get a habit tracker. And I just send good stuff out there, too. And I like no clutter, says Silver Fox, but I feel that I would feel alone even though I'm not if I purged. Just notice. This is so powerful. Notice that you have a thought that makes you feel, oh my God, I better not get rid of all my stuff. I'm going to feel alone. First of all, nobody says you have to get rid of your stuff. But how about that wonderful feeling of just right? That's what I like. Instead of lack, I don't have enough. That's a certain crappy feeling. But notice how many people, when they talk about clutter, they say, I have too much, right? What about that wonderful, perfect feeling of just right? It's like when you're like, oh, these pants are too small, these pants are too big, these ones are just right. It's like the Goldilocks, right? Except we're not breaking into somebody's house and eating their porridge. But that just right feeling. Can you imagine Silver Fox 143 of saying, you know what? I wouldn't feel alone. I would feel so complete when I am saying with intention, I want these things in my life. And also, these things do not serve me. They do not make me feel good. They make my life more difficult. I am ready to get rid of those. It's almost like having a better group of friends. Instead of being surrounded by a whole bunch of people, you have a core group of people that really get you, that fit, that feel just right. And you keep those things, and you keep those things, and then you have room to then expand and say, what do I want to do with this time? Okay, if my kitchen is a mess or my living room, I can't relax, I have to clean first. Okay, notice that about yourself. And also, I say this, how can you make it easier for your kitchen to not be a mess or your living room to not be a mess? Notice the habits you have and your family has about the fact that it may be you're leaving stuff out on the tables, or you're not putting stuff away, or doing things like that. Changing your habits means that you pretty much, only have to do a little bit of cleaning at a little bit of time. Putting stuff away doesn't take much. Now, I speak from a lens of growing up in a cluttered home and having a cluttered family. Now it's just my husband and me, and I don't have children. But also, we have also been a hot mess with stuff all around the place, even when it's just the two of us. So getting people in your family involved in the decluttering and the maintenance of the home is really important to me. Okay, I am just struggling with getting it done. It gives me anxiety. I get overwhelmed. Swim Lady 82. As I said at the beginning, and I will probably be repeating this for many times in my life, but I don't mind it. The feeling of overwhelm. This is overwhelming. It's too much. I am anxious. Makes you feel anxious, Do something for your anxiety. Say, I'm going to take that overwhelm. It doesn't have control over me. I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to take a pen. I'm going to move it through my meridian, and I'm just going to take some deep breaths. And I'm going to say, I have control over this, right? And you decrease the anxiety. When you feel better, you chunk it down and you start doing some stuff. One thing at a time. See, Junebug's eyes is even saying, do one thing at a time, one shelf at a time, and you will get there. There we go. If I got rid of the hubby and my kids, my house would be clean. To Lisa, that may be true. That also might be, you may realize that, oh my gosh, the call is coming from within the house. I have had a number of clients say, oh my God, I thought it was them. Really, a lot of it is me. That's okay. The blame game is just a place where we start and we get curious about it. What I say is notice what you do, and is what you do getting you to where you want to go to, steering you towards that, or steering you away, right? And here's the deal. Get rid of the dogs and hubby. Now, the dogs, you can't really change them. You could probably train them to put their toys in their basket or whatever. But get the hubby and the kids to participate more in this, okay? It should not just be the woman in the family who does all the work. If everybody benefits from living in the home, everybody needs to do part of the decluttering and the maintenance to the extent that they're able to. And I say that to kind of give a, catch-all for like if you're a baby or like you're an old person in a wheelchair. But other than that, decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is the ability to say to yourself, I'm making a decision about something that I want in my life or not, and then acting upon it, taking action about it. Can you imagine like how much better your kids are going to be when you push them out of the nest, when they can make those decisions because they've learned to declutter their own stuff? Your husband too. He's not a baby. He's not a baby, right? It's a life skill. What if something happens to you? He needs to know how to run his own home, bachelor pad and all that. Okay. So, okay. Rainbow sunbeams, noticing. I get anxious because I have perfectionism. Everybody, perfect is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Perfectionism, no, we're not going for perfection. We're going for better. Better than it is today. How about this? I am showing up. I have to look at my calendar, but I'm going to show up because I only have a few minutes left here. Today is Friday. I'm showing up on Monday doing another TikTok live. Pretty sure I am. At least I got to look at my calendar. I'm showing up next week. Let me just preface that, and I will post the schedule, and I'm always good about that. You can make your home look and feel better just by putting in 20 minutes today, Saturday, and Sunday. Do more if you like, but the main thing is to get yourself started. It won't be perfect. It won't be done. That's fine. We're not going for perfect or done. We're going for better. Because better gets better, gets better, gets better, gets better. You're going to see the improvement. Okay? Yeah. And I can't, Andy Miskey Verizon Net. I am Gen X, so I am always riffing on my pop culture second language. It cracks me up and it makes learning for me fun. See, Annalisa is saying, our surface clutter is improving, right? I hate waste. Most of the stuff is in good condition, but selling it or donation is more work. Okay. Donating can be pretty easy. I don't know where you live, but you can put stuff. I am blessed to live in a small town, but man, do we have so many places I can donate stuff. Put a box of free shit on your front yard. Put a sign that says free stuff. People will stop and get it. Make it easy on yourself. If you say it's going to be work, if you tell yourself it's going to be a lot of work, it's going to feel like a lot of work and you're not going to want to do it. There we go. Peer pressure, accountability. I'm just giving you encouragement. And I'm saying that you are the driver. Maybe this is what I want to leave with, because I know some people are just, there we go. I love action is the antidote to anxiety. And if anybody knows me, you know that I love those alliterations. Destination, decluttered, surface, stored, sentimental. I got a million of them, kids. Waka waka. Here's what I would love to leave you with, okay? Think about this. You are the driver of your own life. You are in the driver's seat of your own life. And you can decide, this is you, little car here, maybe like a little, family truckster or whatever. Decide where you want to go to. Decide on a destination you're excited to get to, and be excited about it. If you're dreading it, if you think, oh, that's going to be a lot of work, it's going to feel like a lot of work. You're not going to want to do it. What's the flip side of that? How about it's going to feel so good when this stuff is gone? It's going to feel so good when, right? And drive towards that. You can step on the gas and drive towards that and do things. Take action. Or you can sit in your driveway, not with the car on, and just think about it and make excuses not to get there. And in the meantime, other people are driving to the beach while you're stuck in your driveway. And I don't mean that to like in a beat up kind of way. What I'm saying is all you need to do is kind of turn the key, spark, that ignition, ignite the spark in you that gets you going every day. And what I found has worked, and this is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered, is envision for yourself what you want your home and life to look like. And do something, anything, today, tomorrow, the next day, to get there. Think about it. Even in a month from now, if you showed up every day for 30 days doing something that got you closer to that, you would be 30 days closer to it. The more you show up, the more action you take. Oh my gosh, you'll just notice the betterment are all over the place. But just, this is what I want to do, is encourage you to do this kind of stuff. Is like, somebody just says, what do you do for fun? Oh my gosh, I do all sorts of things for fun. I read, I take walks, I'm going to my friend's pool. I just got back from vacation. I fart around, I have friends. Like, I just have more time in my life to do the things I want to do because I have minimized the stuff I have to do because I've made it so simple. And I want to share that with you. That's what I do with my coaching. Yep. All right. Yep, exactly. What you have in your head makes you feel, head, it's from the top down. A thought you have in your head makes you feel a certain way in your heart. And when you feel a certain way in your heart, you do a certain thing with your hands. If you have unhelpful thoughts, they make you feel crappy. You're going to hang on to stuff. You're going to not move your hands. You're going to not turn on the key, right? But on the other side of your brain, you have the opposite thought. What's a more helpful thought that makes you feel better, that gets you started, that turns on the ignition, that gets you going, that makes you take your hand and move something and put it in away or put it in a box to give away, right? So that's what I got. It's 10:32. This has been so great. Again, if you're just joining me, my name is Beth, but Destination Decluttered. I am a decluttering life coach. I like to make it fun. I am, a Gen Xer who knows about clutter and stuff, and I coach people. I show up to TikTok lives. I have an email mailing list. If you want to get on that, and I suggest you do if you are digging what I'm doing, because the people on my mailing list, they just get first dibs on everything. Okay. And it's free. I don't spam you, but you get invited to group Zoom calls that I have with nobody else except people on the mailing list. This Sunday, I am doing a free Zoom workshop about how to declutter your schedule. So you have time to do the things you have to do and want to do. What else? I do one-on-one coaching, and when I have availability in my schedule, the people who know about that are going to be the people on the email mailing list. I do some other cool things, and I'm always making up stuff. I just like to have fun with it. I'm not too serious about things, but man, do I love what I do. And I love being kind of that co-pilot to you on the roadmap, on the road trip to where you want to go. You're behind the wheel. I hop in the passenger seat and I say, where are we going? And when you say we're going here, I said, cool, I can help you get there. Okay. You got this. Do something to make your life better today, tomorrow, the next day. And maybe I will see you next week when I do some more TikTok lives. All right. Bye.